Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going deep into something that many of us dread: failure. Now, I know that the term failure makes us cringe, but what if I told you that some of the greatest personalities in history have failed, sometimes multiple times, before they reached the phenomenal success we know them for today?
Yes, exactly. Failure is part of the process, and it's one that we can all learn from. We hear about the achievements of notable people all the time, but we don't hear about the struggles, about the mistakes, and about what they learned along the way from failure. I want to reverse that today. We will look at the lessons we can draw from the failures of great personalities, individuals such as Thomas Edison, Walt Disney, Oprah Winfrey, and others. These people experienced setbacks that would have derailed most of us, but rather than quit, they employed their failures as stepping stones to success. Their stories are evidence that failure is not the end. It's merely the beginning. So, if you've encountered setbacks or want to give up, hang in there. These lessons will motivate you, and remind you that your failures don't define you. Let's begin.
Let us start with one of the world's most legendary inventors, Thomas Edison. We all recognize him as the inventor of the light bulb, but the fact that very few people are aware of is that Edison experimented 1,000 times before he eventually succeeded. In fact, Edison is said to have conducted over 10,000 experiments before creating the working light bulb. Imagine that, over 10,000 failures. And what did he say about those failures? He didn't view them as failures at all. Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." The lesson here is mighty. Failure isn't a loss. It's part of the journey. Any setback, every mistake, every failure is an educational experience. Each of those 10,000 experiments for Edison was a lesson that got him closer to achieving his dream. And that's what we also need to do. Accept each failure as a lesson and not as a stumbling block. Next, let's discuss a man who has molded the entertainment world in ways that few men have: Walt Disney. Prior to when Walt created the magic kingdom of Disney, Walt encountered several failures and rejections. Indeed, he was even let go of from a newspaper career because his manager believed he lacked imagination. Can you imagine? And if all that wasn't enough, his initial animation company, Laugh-O-Gram Studios, went broke. But even with all the failures, Walt Disney didn't quit. He continued, even when he got knocked down over and over and over again. He kept trying, and it paid off eventually as he built Disneyland, the classic Disney films, and a brand beloved by people globally. What we can take from Walt Disney is this: there is no such thing as final rejection. People will criticize you, doubt you, and say that you're not good enough. But you don't have to give up. Rejection is only one step closer to the success you deserve. So keep going. Believe in your dreams. If Walt Disney had stopped after his failures, we wouldn't enjoy the Disney magic we enjoy today. Let's look at the amazing story of Oprah Winfrey. She's the queen of media, but Oprah's not just a success story, it's one of overcoming adversity. Before she was the media powerhouse we know today, Oprah experienced rejection upon rejection. In her initial years as a TV news reporter, she was informed that she was not suited for TV. Yes, that's correct. Oprah, who is among the most powerful people in the world, was advised that she was not suited for the profession that she would subsequently dominate.
Oprah's childhood wasn't smooth sailing either. She was raised in poverty, and she experienced emotional and physical abuse. Rather than allowing her situation to define her, however, Oprah took her struggles and leveraged them to push herself further. She developed strength out of adversity, and that tenacity helped her forge her own road to achievement.
What we can take away from Oprah is that where you begin and what others say about you don't matter. You can rewrite your own story. Your history doesn't dictate your destiny. The power to prevail is within you. All you need to do is persevere, even when it seems like the world is against you. Michael Jordan is arguably the greatest basketball player of all time, but the path to his greatness wasn't smooth. In fact, one of the best-known quotes from him goes as follows: "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times, I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team, yet he didn't let that hinder him. He used it as motivation to push harder, go further, and show the world that he could get past setbacks. Today, his name is equated with success, not only in basketball, but in business and branding as well. The moral we can learn from Michael Jordan is this: failure is not something to be afraid of. It's something to be welcomed. Each time you fail, you're closer to success. Use your failures as fuel to drive you on to even higher achievements. J.K. Rowling, the writer of the Harry Potter series, is yet another amazing example of perseverance in the face of failure. Prior to becoming one of the most successful authors of all time, Rowling had many obstacles to overcome. She was a single mother who lived on welfare, and she was rejected by 12 publishers before her book was finally accepted. Can you imagine how it must have felt to experience that level of rejection? But rather than quit, Rowling persevered. She knew she had something good to offer the world, and she believed in her tale. Her determination was rewarded, and now she's not only a best-selling author, but a philanthropist and a role model to millions of individuals worldwide. What we learn from J.K. Rowling is that failure isn't necessarily the end of the road. Really, it may be the beginning of something spectacular. You just have to hold on to hope in yourself and your aspirations even when it appears the world against you. Steve Jobs is perhaps the most legendary figure in the world of technology, yet his path to success was strewn with failure. In 1985, Jobs was, in fact, fired from Apple, the company he co-founded. Think about it. A founder getting ousted from his own business. But rather than being defeated, Jobs went on to create a new firm called Next, and subsequently acquired Pixar, which would go on to change animation forever. Years went by, and Apple welcomed him back, and the rest, as they say, is history. The iPhone, iPod, iPad, and so many more innovations fell under Jobs' reign, revolutionizing how we communicate with technology. We learn from Jobs that failure doesn't determine what you are or where you go. Setbacks can be stepping stones to greater things, and sometimes getting knocked down can give you the vision you need to rise even higher. The stories we've shared today are proof that failure is not the end of the road. In fact, it's often the beginning of a new chapter. The most successful people in history have faced rejection, criticism, and failure, but they didn't let it stop them. Instead, they used those failures as lessons, as motivation, and as fuel for their future success. So if you're struggling now, if you've failed or someone said that you won't make it, just keep in mind that failure is simply part of the way. It's not the end. It's a lesson, and it's making you who you're supposed to be. If you found something helpful from this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more motivational content. Tell us in the comments how you overcame your setbacks and what you learned from your failures. Thanks for watching, and remember, your failures don't define you. They're disguised lessons. Keep moving forward. You've got this.